Winzo here, and welcome to tonight's segment of Winzo Reads. In this segment, we're going to read a good book. This book may take a couple days for us to read, but we're going to go ahead and start it tonight, okay? We're going to read My Monster, the Bully Buster, Boris to the Rescue, Book 1 by Kaz Campbell. If you're interested in this book, tell your parents to check this book out on Amazon for you, okay? My Monster, Book 1, Boris to the Rescue, first book in the Monster series. Meet my friend Boris. Can you imagine having a monster for a friend? Not a pretend monster, but a real one. I have to tell you, it is awesome. This is my story of how I came to have a little red monster friend called Boris. My name is Bob. My friends always call me Bobby. Mom and Dad call me Bob when I'm in trouble, and Mom calls me Boo Boo Bear at home. This is really annoying and embarrassing, especially when my friends are around. After all, I'm in grade 4 now. I'm almost a teenager. Dad is a teacher at my school. His name is Mr. Campbell, and the kids all really like him, except for Jack. Jack is a bully. Jack is not nice, and Jack gives me a hard time. I have a secret friend called Boris. He says I am the best friend he has ever had. He makes me laugh, and he looks after me, but sometimes he gets me into some strange situations. You see, most of the time, I am the only one who can see Boris, and he is a real monster. I think it's pretty special that nobody else can see Boris. They can smell him and hear his noises, things like farts, hiccups, and burps, but they can't hear him talking or see him. At first, I told my best friends about Boris, but when they couldn't see him, they just looked at me and laughed. I know you won't think I'm strange, so I'm going to tell you all about Boris. Our first meeting. We first met last year when I was in grade 3. Every night I would have terrible dreams. Giant crabs would attack my toes with their giant claws. Little green aliens would abduct me from my bed and take me to their spaceship. Giant hairy spiders would drop from the ceiling and crawl into my face. Scary monsters were hiding in my cupboard and would creep out at night and look at me. A huge dragon was under my bed. A witch would knock on the window and put a spell on me, turning me into a frog. What? I'm scared. I had the same dreams every night, and after every dream I would wake up, scared, and hiding under the sheets. Sometimes I would scream for help, and Mom would run in and hold me until I fell asleep again. After school one day, Mom gave me a present. Bobby, this will help to stop your bad dreams. It is called a dream catcher. We'll hang it above your bed tonight, and we will catch all the scary things you dream about. I just looked at Mom. How would something made of wool, beads, and feathers catch a giant crab or stop a witch from knocking on my window? Thanks, Mom, but I don't think it will work, I said, hunching my shoulders and not looking forward to tonight. Mom told me it had special powers, very strong magical powers. I'm sure it will work, Boo Boo Bear. I wish you would stop calling me that. Let's just give it a try. That night she tucked me into bed, read me a story, and told me to ask the dream catcher to catch the scary dreams. Then she switched off the light and left me all alone. I closed my eyes and repeated in my head, Dreamcatcher, please work. Dreamcatcher, please work. And soon I fell asleep. I heard a high-pitched, creepy noise. It sounded like fingernails scraping down a blackboard. A dragon's claw started to slide out from under my bed. It was rough, scaly, and huge. Its fingernails were scraping on the floor. Oh no, please help me, Dreamcatcher, I cried. I looked at the catcher because I was too scared to look down, and out of the Dreamcatcher jumped a red, hairy monster. I jumped in bed. The little red monster was just above my head. It had a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. I felt sure it was going to slice my head off. Settle down, Bobby. I'm here to help you. No need to scream. Boris to the rescue, he said as he jumped down to the floor. Suddenly, the bed tilted and started to lift as the dragon roared and charged towards the little red monster. Fire poured from the dragon's mouth and nostrils. I felt for sure that the monster was toast, but the monster showed that he was tougher than a slice of bread and deflected the fire with his shield. Charge! Screamed the red monster as he ran flat out with the sword pointed straight at the dragon's snout. The dragon switched his tail and knocked the sword flying. Smash! The monster and the dragon wrestled on the floor. They rolled across the room and the dragon hit the wall with a thud. While the dragon was dazed, the monster picked up his sword and with one swift slice, he cut the dragon's head off. Then he picked up the head and threw it out the window. The rest of the body turned to smoke and blew swiftly outside. Swash! The little red monster was a hero. He had saved me from the dragon. Did you kill the dragon? I asked. The monster smiled. No, Bobby, it's not dead. I've just sent it back to Dreamland, and it won't ever come back again. What are you? I asked the monster. My name is Boris, and I just saved you from a dragon dream. You can thank me if you want, he said with a huge smile on his face. Thank you, Boris, but you haven't answered my question. What are you? I asked again. Bobby, I'm a friendly monster. I came from the dream catcher, and it is my job to look after you. So go back to sleep and never fear, Boris is here." And with that, he did a funny little dance and hopped onto the end of my bed. I pulled up the sheets and slept all night without another dream. In the morning, as I woke up, I saw Boris the monster disappearing back into the dream catcher. The next morning, I told Mom, and she wanted to know all about my monster friend. Dad looked up from his breakfast and shook his head. I don't think Dad believes me, but Mom does. And that is how Boris came into my life. The longest day. At school that day, I told my best friends Kate and James all about Boris. They thought it was really cool and wanted to meet Boris, so I decided that if Boris came back tonight, I would ask him to come to school with me so he can meet my friends. School that day seemed to take forever. My teacher, Mr. Egerton, some of the naughty kids call him Mr. Egghead, droned on and on about how to write a letter and how to add up numbers. Didn't he know I had better things to think about? I couldn't concentrate, and as I was drawing a picture of Boris, I felt a dark, cold presence behind me. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and goosebumps appeared on my arms. You know, the type of feeling you have when you think a vampire is sneaking up on you? As I started to turn, I heard, "Bob, what are you doing?" "Sorry, Mr. Egerton, I'm just drawing a picture of my monster, but I was listening to your interesting talk about how to write letters," I said in a voice that was high and way too fast. He ripped the page out of my book, scrunched it up, and threw it in the bin. "Okay, class, seeing that Bob has been listening, he is going to tell us how you finished a letter to a friend," he said, knowing he was setting me up for making a fool of myself. Why didn't I listen when I was drawing? I could feel my face getting hotter and hotter. I mumbled, "Goodbye." Everyone started laughing. Everyone, that is, except Mr. Egerton. Looking around, I wished that the aliens would fly through the window and abduct me. I knew what would come next. "I'll be seeing your dad at lunchtime, Bob, right after I give you a detention." Sometimes it is painful having a dad who teaches at the same school. I slumped in my seat, trying to make myself invisible, and I told him I was sorry and that I would listen from now on. During detention, I had to write out, "I will listen in class," 50 times before I could escape. When I finally made it to the playground to join in the last 10 minutes of a soccer game, Jack, the class bully, picked up the soccer ball and yelled, "How come you are out of detention?" "Oh, that's right. Daddy is a teacher. Little Bobby always gets special attention. Teacher's pet, teacher's pet. Bobby is the teacher's pet," he chanted. Kate jumped to my defense. "Leave him alone, Jack. He did his detention." "Yeah, right. All 5 minutes of it. I'd be in there all lunch hour. And so would all the other kids. Teacher's little favorite," he said in a mean voice. Kate took the ball off Jack and yelled for everyone to play on. Jack gave me a death stare, so I just smiled at him and ran off after the ball. Sometimes you just have to ignore bullies, and I'm so lucky to have friends who stand up for me. After lunch, the day dragged on. I couldn't wait to go home. Early to bed. That night, I did my homework quickly, ate all my dinner in record time, even the cabbage. Yuck! I didn't even try to hide my peas under the table. Then I had a shower and cleaned my teeth, all before 6 o'clock. "Mom, Dad, I'm really tired. I think I'll go to bed early tonight," I said, trying to sound sleepy. My act was worthy of an Academy Award. I yawned and stretched and made my eyes look as if they were half closed. My big sister Lucy looked at me with a strange look on her face and her arms folded. "But Bobby, you never want to go to bed," she said in a shocked voice. Mom and Dad looked surprised too. "Don't worry about today, Bobby. Mr. Eggleton can't expect little kids to listen to every word he says. And besides, learning about how to write a letter is pretty boring." Dad tried to comfort me, thinking I was upset about getting into trouble at school. To be honest, I had forgotten all about it. I just wanted to go to bed to see Boris. "Thanks, Dad." I'm just tired." "I'll see you in the morning," I replied. Mom walked over and gave me a hug. She put her hand on my forehead to feel for a temperature. "Are you sure you feel okay?" "I'll come in and read you a story, Boo Boo Bear." "I hate that nickname," "and sit with you until you fall asleep," whispered Mom. Now, normally I would love that, but not tonight. "It's okay, Mom. I'm a big boy now. Good night." And off I went to bed. Lucy watched me walk up the stairs. "Mom, that's not normal. Bobby is up to something." "I agree," said Dad. "Where are all his excuses for not going to bed? How come he doesn't suddenly have extra homework? Why isn't he feeling thirsty or hungry? And why didn't he want you to read with him tonight?" "Something is up," said Dad. "Oh, you two are so suspicious. He just feels tired, and he is starting to grow up. I'm proud of our Bobby, and I think the dream catcher is making him feel safer in his room. I am one brilliant mom," she boasted. Okay, kids, we're going to stop here for tonight. Tune in next week for the rest of the story. Don't forget to follow me on all the social media platforms at Winzo Raps, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Until next week, Winzo out.